The Acropolis is an eye-catching and beautiful temple that has a rich history. It stood for over 2,500 years on 4 hills in Athens, Greece. It's a limestone stronghold, and it's mainly been used as churches or religiously and even for storing ammunition, storehouses, or just as barracks, or even just for rulers. The Acropolis has been fought over its entire standing. It's an architectural beauty, and even in the present, people are fighting for just a photo next to it. Its main religious figure has been Athena, and the Encyclopedia Britannica defines Athena as the city protectress, goddess of war, handicraft, and practical reason, identified by the Romans with Minerva. The origins for the Acropolis, they begin around the Neolithic period, mainly by pottery, which the Encyclopedia Britannica supports. But most records of construction really begin in the Mycenaean era. So the Mycenaean era would be around the Bronze Age. After, however, the Athens defeat the Persians, the architectural boom and culture really flourish. This starts around the Golden Age. It's around 460, 430 BCE, and this is with Pericles as the ruler. With Pericles as the ruler. It has many different temples inside. The Acropolis is kind of a conjoinment of different buildings on a bunch of different hills. The main jewel that we think of is the Parthenon, and that's the one with the Ionic columns, so the ones with the stripes. And it was mainly used as a treasury, and it held a giant, large, golden painted statue of Athena, which we don't now have, as the Acropolis was lost to looters later in history, but it was a cool historical piece. The next piece is the Erechtheion, which was a sacred marble temple that contained a bunch of statues of Athena and many different other gods. It's mainly notable for its famous porch with 6 maiden statues and a 7th that's later in the British Museum, or currently in the British Museum. The next is the Propylaea, which is an elaborate entryway to the Acropolis with 1 building and 2 wings, and it used to contain painted panels. Now, the Acropolis itself is in ruins, so who destroyed the Acropolis? In the 6th century, Rome converted to Christianity, and many temples converted as well. This was just due to rulers and land being fought over. So we even see Persians, if you remember earlier, before the Golden Era, we've had Persians attack throughout the Acropolis, and just constantly being fought over this really powerful piece of architecture. It's been through a lot. It's been through natural weather, and being built of stone on a high up place, it causes wear and tear, and just being fought over, burned, loot. People want this building and they want to destroy it. Around the 6th century, or when Rome converted to Christianity, the Parthenon took on a new ruler, and the Parthenon with the big statue of Athena, the Acropolis, a article from history.com, which was updated in 2025, quotes, "The Parthenon was dedicated to the Virgin Mary, and the Erechtheion became a chapel." So this now religious architectural building that was once Hellenistic, Roman, it was for Athena, this figure of this woman was now portrayed as the Virgin Mary, which is super interesting. In the late 1967, the Venetians actually bombarded the Acropolis and decimated it. So a lot of the aftermath was left to looters or vandalism or just being destroyed. But in the late 1920s, that's when our restoration really began. So we had a lot of big time between that where the Acropolis was just open to anyone, and it caused a lot of harm. In the 19th century, though, restoration and our excavation began. So this is when it became more of a tourist spot, and it became protected under became protected under the Heritage Act, we'll say. The Acropolis has had many uses, from mosques, churches, wars, and natural events. Now, the Acropolis is considered one of the 7 wonders of the world and is an extremely heavy tourist spot. In about 1801, Thomas Bruce, the 7th Earl of Elgin, excavated nearly half of the sculptures in the Acropolis, most of which were donated to the British Museum of Art. And this is what we can see today. In conclusion, the Acropolis is a building that has inspired democracy, art, power, and architecture for years. Construction is still being worked on in the Acropolis, and even today, when you visit, you can see the scaffolding being put up that's up yearly. In October, scaffolding was recently removed from the Parthenon after nearly 20 years, and tourists were able to see the building without any scaffolding covering columns or the building. These temples, I think, are a true sight, and I think everyone should see them at least once in their lifetime. Even seeing statues in a museum, like the British Museum or the Acropolis Museum in Athens, is a real sight and a true testament of architectural beauty. My sources were Encyclopedia Britannica, the Parthenon Athens from smarthistory.com, Acropolis Athens definition in Greece history.com, Acropolis of Athens history, buildings, and facts from Encyclopedia Britannica, and timeoutworldwide.com. Thank you.